let's talk about finding the right dog trainer for you here in Gaithersburg. The whole point is to make life with your dog easier and, honestly, a lot more fun for both of you. Because that's what we all want, right? To actually enjoy all the great spots our city has to offer. I mean, imagine a peaceful walk along the Muddy Branch Greenway or a relaxing afternoon at Rio Lakefront without any pulling or barking. Good training is really what gets you there. So, why does training specifically in Gaithersburg matter? Well, it's all about getting your dog ready for the real-life situations we run into around here every single day. Let's look at what I mean. Just think about it for a second. You want to take your dog to the Gaithersburg Book Festival, but what about the crowds? Or maybe you want to grab a bite on a patio in the Kentlands. Good training helps your dog handle all that stuff with confidence. It's about them being able to politely pass other people on the trails and just being a quiet, good neighbor in our communities where houses can be pretty close together. Okay, so you're on board and ready to start, but you might be seeing all these different training terms and programs and wondering, what's what? Let's clear up the most common options so you can figure out what's going to work best for you. So, the cornerstone of almost all modern, effective dog training is something called positive reinforcement. It sounds technical, but it's really simple. It just means we reward the dog for doing what we want them to do. We use things they love, like treats or praise. It's a really humane way to train that's proven to work, and it builds a fantastic, trusting bond with your dog, which is what we all want. Now, when it comes to how you'll train, you've pretty much got two main paths: group classes or private lessons. Group classes are awesome for getting your dog used to focusing around other dogs and people, plus they're usually easier on the wallet. But on the other hand, private lessons give you that one-on-one, personalized attention. They're perfect for working on very specific problems, like, say, barking at the mail carrier, right there in your own home where it actually happens. And of course, there are a few other specialized programs out there. Puppy classes are, well, pretty essential for getting your new pup started off on the right paw. Behavior modification is for more serious issues, like if your dog is really fearful or reactive on leash. And for folks with super busy schedules, things like day training or even a board and train program can be an option. Just be sure you really vet those trainers and their facilities. And that brings us to maybe the most important part. How do you actually know if a trainer is a qualified professional? Let's walk through the key things you should be looking for. Certifications are a really good sign that a trainer is serious about their education. Keep an eye out for acronyms like KPA-CTP or CPDT-KA for general skills and manners training. Now, if you're dealing with more complex stuff like serious anxiety or aggression, you'll want to look for advanced credentials like IABC-CDBC or CBC-KA. That shows a much deeper level of expertise. And of course, we've got to talk about the cost, right? You need to know what to budget. Here in the Gaithersburg area, you can expect a 6-week group class to run somewhere between $170 and $350. A single private lesson is usually in the $100 to $180 range. A lot of trainers offer packages of private lessons, which can bring that per session cost down a bit. Just seeing these numbers can help you plan ahead. Okay, so when you're ready to actually call a trainer, you'll want to have these questions handy. It is so important to ask about their training philosophy to make sure you're comfortable with their methods. Asking about certifications just confirms their professional background. And since every dog is different, you absolutely want to know if they can create a custom plan. Ask what they'd recommend for your specific situation, how they track progress, and, always, get a clear breakdown of all the fees up front so there are no surprises. Being a good dog owner is also about being a good neighbor, and that means you gotta know the local rules. So let's quickly go over some of the key regulations for us here in Montgomery County. Here's a number to remember: 6 feet. That's the standard leash length recommended for keeping good control of your dog on any public sidewalk or trail around here. It's a simple thing, but it's a huge part of being responsible and keeping everyone safe. And here are the 3 big ones you need to know. First, Montgomery County has a leash law. That means your dog has to be on a leash anytime they're not on your own private property. That's why practicing that loose leash walking is so valuable. Second, your dog legally has to have a current rabies tag on their collar. And third, if your dog is barking nonstop, it can actually be considered a noise violation. That really shows you why training for quiet, calm behavior at home is so helpful. All right, so once you start learning all these new skills with your dog, where can you go to practice? This is the fun part, right? Getting out there and putting all that hard work to use around town. We've got some really great local spots for this. You can work on that super important recall skill, getting your dog to come when called, in a safe, fenced area like the Burr Park Dog Park or Maddie J.T. Stepanek Park. The Muddy Branch Greenway is perfect for practicing your leash walking with real-world distractions, bikes, strollers, other dogs. And if you want to build up your dog's focus over longer walks, you just can't beat the miles of trails at Black Hill Regional Park. At the end of the day, investing in training is really about getting more freedom. It's the freedom to explore our beautiful parks, to eat on a patio with your dog by your side, and to have friends over to your home without any stress. A well-trained dog is your ticket to confidently enjoying all the great things our community has to offer. We wish you the best of luck on your training journey.